Who would like to go first? Yeah, that looks great. Let me look at the reference before I say anything. This caught my eye. Willie did draw it with a bit of real estate back here, but it looks like you're a little bit too generous. So I would just move it back some. But yeah, this is the level of detail that would be expected in like a previs model. There are certain things that are a little bit off, like the burners. They're in the center, whereas you have them on each end. The sink, the faucet should be a lot longer. And hopefully you have a file that still has all the original object space. And it's fine, you don't have the plants and stuff in there, but sometimes having that stuff in there definitely helps sell the space if you were showing it to an art director. I would go ahead and put the mat in there though. I know I said I liked the refrigerator before, but now looking at the art, it looks like the refrigerator's a little wide. Something kind of more like that. It also looks like you've put some space in between here when that's up right against the wall. Maybe it's just the wall needs to move over, like this room is too big. I would look at the thickness of the trim on the top of the doorway, and actually it could probably slant it a little bit. And then it also looks like this should be moved down some because there's more space up there. And I'm wondering if maybe the door is a little too thick, if something like that feels a little better. For doors in the US, I think it's 36 inches. It helps if you Google door width and stuff so you know what those standard dimensions are. Yeah, so 32 or 36. I know this is a stylized door, but you'll want to be somewhere in that neighborhood. And actually, looking at this, looks like this guy should be moved over anyway because there's more space there. So you could scoot this guy over since the refrigerator's thinner now. And so that would work out. Let's see what's going on with these guys. Cabinets look good. I do see you started to stylize that stuff, so that's good. Well, this thing right here is the vent for the stovetop, so it should be right above the stove and not offset like that. Wondering if maybe the windows are too big. Also, they should be over more. So we could take this whole unit, move it over that way, narrow that up a bit. And then these guys should be right up next to it like that. This corner right here should line up with this corner. Move this over some, so this probably would come out to the very end. And then this guy would just, I'm gonna screw up your knobs. You'd want to not lattice those guys, but I'm just gonna do this for sake of time. Move that over like that. And that's good that you put the pivot down here, because were you to be in like a production pipeline with this, that would make it easy for layout if they needed to change things, because that will happen where you'll get a design and then they'll get cameras in there and change their mind. The stovetop should be the same height as the countertop, and it kind of depends on how high this is. When in doubt, I always Google heights. Standard countertop height, 35 inches. Yeah, it looks like that's about the right height. So the stove would need to come down. Move that over. And then I guess what you would need to do is yank this guy down and make it thicker. When you get in there to make it higher resolution, it looks like it kind of varies. Something, kind of like that. But it has to be really subtle, just so it feels a bit more hand-drawn. I would also look at where you've put this drawer, because it should be lined up with the top drawer right here. So both of these guys could probably stand to be thicker. And then when we get to in cloth, I'll show you how to sim this. so don't spend any time really modeling the towel. Although it does look like this space right here should be narrower. Also check out how thick you've made this line right here. So guys should be more like that. And then also this is too thick right here too. But otherwise, it's looking good. It looks like the windows could be a little bit taller because they go past the cabinets. So let's grab all these guys again. This space right here is too big. This should come over this way. And actually, this should be pretty much right up next to it because typically these guys are cut out just right for a refrigerator. And then we could make this a little wider. Let's see what else. These steps are a little wide. I think the standard width is 36 inches, so it'd be 3 units if you're using each square as a foot. Probably something more like that. And also, this corner right here would probably line up with the stairs. So this might have to be a compromise between moving this over a little and moving this over this way. But what you should probably do is you'd want to pull this stuff out a little bit further and then just make another wall here. Just to close it off. And you'd want to go ahead and get the banister in there too. So overall, you did a really good job. I would just hit those notes and then start high modding. Alrighty, cool. Do you have any other questions?